Hey guys, it's SlaveToTheGames, and I'm back with day 2 of the Scum information discussion update. Now, in this one, I'm going to be going over some things that have to do with the server, the map, world, and events. Now, one thing I want to point out is I've spent 8 hours going through threads on the Scum website and the forums, looking for anything that the developers actually replied to, and I didn't really actually add anything where they said they'll just write it down or maybe. I really wanted to add things where it seemed like they at least confirmed it, or they were leaning towards it, or they said that it was going to be a planned feature at the very least. Most of the things that I'm going to be telling you are things that they have either confirmed or it's been led on to believe it's going to be confirmed based on the words that they've said. Now, before I start, I'd really appreciate it if you guys could like and subscribe. It took a lot of time to find these, and I'm going to continue to keep on looking. I have a lot of information, and I really hope that I have enough to continue all the way up until the release date of Scum. But right now, like I said, I've gone through all of the forum pages that are on Scum website and looked at all the developer replies and messages, and I have some things where like I have to actually go through and fix everything, rewrite it, and then make sure that I don't have copies of the same exact fact or future plans. So this is going to take some time. Luckily though, I have enough for at least a couple more videos. So without further ado, let's get straight into this with the first fact. And one more thing before we go there, just so you know, is I don't have these in any specific order at all. It's just randomly placed in certain categories, like I mentioned before, what we're currently in. And from there, I'm just going to literally list the things that I've found and move on. Once again, the reason why I'm playing a video for Escape from Tarkov is because I do not know how to get Scum videos for this video or any of the videos I do, because I don't really have the knowledge currently, as I said, to download it from any site or find out if it's okay to download it from any other site. If I do, if you find out how to do that, don't forget to leave a comment below and tell me exactly how I can do that, and make sure that you know that I'm not going to get copyright striked for it or basically just get in any form of trouble. The first fact I have is that the official servers will be numbered, and you will be able to favorite servers and see your history of played servers. This isn't anything new, it's pretty much in games like Rust, Ark, etc., but it's still nice to know that. The players occupying an area where an event is going to start soon will get a warning beforehand. They're expected to leave the premises and feel free to return once the bloodbath is over. If you want to stay in the area during the event without joining the event itself, because you can do that, just be ready for a bunch of people coming there armed to the teeth. Also, count in the fact that event participants can respawn during the duration of the event, and your character can't. So you'll be risking your progress if you stay there. But I mean, if you really want to try staying there and you want to hold that place, have at it. Scum will be both PvE and PvP by default, even though you can also try only PvE in single player. Scum is, and always will be, a survival game primarily. No shrinking shield of death like PUBG, Fortnite, etc., and no forced gameplay. The world is yours to explore and survive, and if you want to take a break from survival part of the game, you can join the optional events on the island with their own unique gameplay. These events are totally optional and can be ignored by the player, and basically how I interpret this is the fact that you can pop in and the basic game is survival, like I've said in the previous video, and then you choose whether you want to survive or just go straight to these events. Now, I don't know how fast these events will spawn. It could be relatively quick. I have yet to find something on that, but when I do find it, it will be in the next video or the video after that, depending on whenever I find this information. There will be Asian and Brazil servers from day 1, as well as Chinese subtitles will be soon implemented in the future. Loading into a server is going to be first come, first served. There's going to be no way to get yourself in faster than another person. If you're there and 10 other people are there trying to click on the same one, whoever clicks on it the fastest is going to get in first. There will be random airdrops in the game, and they're going to contain some nice goodies, or really not so nice. So what I get from this fact is that it's either going to be a trap of some kind, like maybe like enemies of NPCs are going to be there, or maybe it's going to be a bomb or something like that. And then off the off chance, there's actually going to be like a really good gun or a really good outfit or tent or something that's going to be worth risking the chance of this 50-50, if it's really going to be a 50-50 chance, as well as throwing yourself out there while other people go and get it. Now, I don't know if it's going to be marked like on PUBG with a giant red smoke or something, but if it is, is, that's also going to make it harder for other people because everyone's going to be able to see that. I'm assuming they're going to implement something to where you can actually see it on the map and everyone will know where it is, just to make it harder and more of a risk to go get it. Now, for all of you who are worried about renting a server or want to know about how you're going to rent a server or where you're going to get the servers from, it's going to be from G-Portal. They're going to decide the server prices. The only way you're going to be able to actually win the game, end game, is to follow the mission objectives, otherwise known as the storyline. They already have many different missions and side quests that will start gradually implementing after the EA phase. It's not going to be there at the very beginning. There may be some, if not any, but they will start implementing it after that. If you roam the island right now, you can find work-in-progress safe zones where you will be able to heal yourself quickly, engage in safe communication with other players, buy stuff, and even store valuable items for a small fee. Almost kind of like a bank, I'm assuming. Storage shed where you pay either a daily fund or you just pay every time you store something or every time you take something out. Furthermore, once they start adding missions to the game, you'll be able to find out more about the history of the island and dark secrets behind it. Kind of like a lore that you're going to be able to stumble upon. I'm probably going to assume this is going to be either some notes laying on the ground or you're going to actually just have to walk through the area and come to a conclusion yourself. If they add anything more than that, I'm going to be more impressed than just adding that, because they could just leave it at you walk into a place, see some dead bodies, and then just kind of piece it together yourself. If they add anything more than that, like I said, that's going to be a plus in my book. They're in the process of creating more safe zones than just the ones that are currently in the work in progress. They decided to add them to the game, although it wasn't planned at the beginning. In this safe zone or haven, you'll be able to repair everything in exchange for a little fame. All these places will be used to see how they can make PvE gameplay work in Scum. There you'll be forbidden to kill other players, so hopefully people will get more social instead of, well, guns blazing and want to kill every person they see. And another plus is that safe zones will not be small, so spawn camping is going to be really hard here. We're talking about 700 meters to a kilometer in diameter, and the center of it will be small. Residential area with buildings where you can buy a lunch, drink, seek medical help, buy stuff will be in there as well. They're still working on the whole thing, so it might change some things on the road. Anyway, we also plan to make some sort of penalty for campers. This is just an idea right now. Anyway, they are also planning to make some sort of penalty for campers. This is just an idea right now, but they are thinking that if people camp, staying on the same spot for a longer period of time, their fame points will start to decline. That way, they might motivate people to move more. Also, they are working on the bounty mechanics, where you can place a bounty on someone who did you wrong. This is all still in the design phase, but they have more important things to worry about right now, but they're definitely thinking of something like that, and will most likely implement it in the future. One thing that I feel like I should add, and I don't know if I already went over this in the first one, but if I did, this is just another catch up for it, is that PvE will not be available at launch. So people who want to do PvE right at the very beginning, unfortunately that's not going to be the case. The game will eventually offer Steam trading cards and achievements for people who are interested in that. I personally am not, but for you who like to collect the cards, trade them, sell them, or just collect achievements, this must be great news for you guys. Now, one thing I want to be clear about is that there's most likely going to be some type of sports put into the game eventually, because when they were asked about it, they said it was a secret and they cannot answer it yet, with kind of a winky face. So I'm assuming because of this answer, they're clearly hinting at it without having to actually say that there will be. Private servers are going to be a thing, though I don't really know how it's going to work, aside from the fact that I'm assuming it's just like Ark or Rust when you just have your own private server, you play on it, and you can invite your friends possibly. There's going to be no server jumping, meaning you will not be able to bring a character from one server to the next. And so this really helps so that if somebody jumps into a server, there's not going to be like a level 60 player, just using that as like an example. I don't know if it's actually going to be levels, but they won't be able to jump in as a level 60 in a brand new area and be fully geared, etc. But they do plan on eventually possibly making it to where you can transfer a character with the loss of some skills, gear, etc. There's going to be no limit to how long the servers last, meaning if you're a fan of Rust, or if you've played Rust, then you know that it wipes every 2 weeks to a month, and it varies depending on what server you're on, but it does wipe. In this case, there's going to be no wipes. Dedicated servers are going to be available in the future, but it's not currently going to be at release. The whole game will take place on the island and nowhere else, obviously, unless it's on the island, in the island, or under the island, or above the island, I'm assuming. Anything there, I believe, is free game. Surrounded by the sea and a huge protective walls, which is what I'm pretty much much going to believe is built around so that you can't try and get your way out, obviously. So I think this is good because then they won't have to render in like outside mountains or cities, etc. You could just see the giant wall and you know that's the end of the game there. You don't have to worry about them having to render in extra excess stuff that you have to see so that it looks good everywhere. You just has to look good on the island. The whole map size is going to be 144 kilometers squared. Now, I mentioned before it was 12 by 12, but I just wanted to specify this again just so you had a more accurate reading of it. Hopefully this helps. The island is going to have 3 different climate zones. They're also thinking of ways to modify the servers, like maybe if you want more spawns so it's easier, or more zombies so it's harder, less spawns, etc. You're going to be able to do that eventually. Renting a server is going to be day 1. Now I'm going to move into leaving the game. This is going to be things that all have to do with leaving the game. What's going to happen? And basically, the game will save and let you continue from where you left off in the multiplayer part of the game. You have to find a safe spot before leaving the server because there's a countdown that has to reach 0 before you can leave the island. This was implemented to counter the people who like to Alt F4. The plan is to make you wait first for the drone to come and pick your body and physically remove you from the island. This simulates that 30 to 45 seconds waiting to log off in other games, but they kind of explain that company stores you on the safe place. However, other players might intervene in the pickup, so logging off might not be easy sometimes. You'll have to make sure that you're safe. If you just log off by force, then your character will stay on the island, disconnected for a longer period of time. This part already works to some extent, but has to be tested first. Not sure if it's going to be 100% ready for EA. Until it's made available, you'll have to wait a certain time and reach specific positions in your vicinity without getting into your drone. Your character will stay on the server for the countdown time if you lose connection or the power goes out. If you connect again, then that character will be removed and you will continue where you left off. There will be a set amount of time until your body disappears after you log out, and in that window you can still be killed and looted. You can still loot the player's weapons off his body, and if he pays some fame, he can keep the weapons as well as you. Now, the system is still in the works, but as it is right now, if you want to keep the weapon you have, to pay a large sum of fame points. To tackle the problem of intentional duplication of items and servers being overrun with large number of weapons, that's why the price is so high. Thank you guys for stopping by for another video. This has been Day 2 of the informational discussion on Scum, and I really hope you're enjoying it. I really am excited to be looking up as much information as I can and to be having these videos put out. Once again, I ask you, if you haven't already, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And remember, everything that I've said in the past 2 videos is subject to change. These are all facts that I've seen that have been stated clearly by the developers after replying in their own forums. I will have the link below where you can actually search through all the forum threads and see all of these facts that I have found and all of the things that are going to be planned for the future. But again, I just have to stress that they can change any of this at any time. Though most likely, most of this is going to be kept since I haven't actually had anything said that they might be changing it. But anyways, once again, I thank you guys for stopping by. I really appreciate having you guys stay here, and I really hope this series will pick up because I'm going to be continuing it all the way up to the day it releases, and then even continuing it as the game goes, where I will be doing streams, and I will also be putting out videos on YouTube, where it's just probably a compilation of my moments and just tips and tricks, the beginning moments of the game, etc. I'll see you guys in my next video. Once again, thank you for stopping by.